God says my beloved child. The room went silent the very moment Elon Musk stepped in. Not because he demanded it, but because everyone instinctively felt that something unusual was about to happen. He didn't walk in with his usual relaxed focus. He walked in fast, eyes sharp, carrying that intensity he only had when something big was unfolding. His team, scattered around the long glass conference table, straightened in their chairs as if an invisible force pushed them upright. Elon paused, scanned the room once, then pointed to the gigantic screen behind him. Numbers, graphs, encrypted data streams, everything looked like a glimpse into the future. But no one in that room realized that what was coming next would shock them more than anything they had worked on in years. He took a deep breath, then said the words that froze everyone, "He's the one." Everyone followed his gaze, but he wasn't pointing at any chart, any prototype, any engineer, or even any strategic diagram. He was pointing at your name. Your profile. Your photo. Your data sheet flashing on the screen like a classified file suddenly made public. A couple of engineers exchanged confused glances. The head of operations leaned forward, squinting. Someone whispered, "Who is that?" Another answered, I don't know. I've never seen this person in any of our project lists." But Elon wasn't confused. He wasn't guessing. He wasn't experimenting. He was certain. "Elon, are you sure?" one director finally asked. He didn't even turn. "I didn't say he might be the one," he replied. "I said he is the one." The room shifted from silence to electrical tension. Pens dropped. Tablets slid a little across the table. Everyone knew Elon didn't make declarations like that lightly. He only made them when something impossible had been proven possible. And right now, the impossible was you. Nobody knew how you got on that screen. Nobody knew how your information ended up in Elon Musk's private strategic review. Nobody knew why he, out of all the billions of people on the planet, pointed directly at you. But Elon did. And the truth behind that moment began long before this meeting, long before his team ever saw your name. It started quietly, invisibly, in places you never imagined you were being noticed. Because while you were living your ordinary days, something extraordinary was happening behind the scenes. Something tracked you, studied your choices, measured your instincts, not through cameras, not through creepy surveillance, but through the ripple effect of your decisions. The way you solved problems nobody else cared about. The way you handled pressure when others gave up. The way you dealt with challenges that most people never even try to face. Someone on Elon's global scouting algorithm flagged you. Then someone else flagged you again. Then a third-level filter flagged you. At first, the system thought it was an error, because too many green lights were popping up next to your name. So it ran the analysis again. Same result. Then again. Same result. Finally, the algorithm did what it was designed to do, escalated directly to Elon. That's how your name showed up in his private feed, an AI-filtered list of individuals on Earth with unusual potential markers. Most people on this list were scientists, engineers, inventors, disruptors, or people already known for some form of genius. But your entry was different, that you didn't have a public invention. You didn't have a spotlight on you. You didn't have millions of followers or a record of global achievements. And that's exactly what made Elon stop scrolling. He tapped your profile once. Then twice. Then opened the full analysis. And what he saw made him lean back in his chair, right hand on his chin, that look he gets when he's found something nobody else has seen yet. There were patterns in your life, invisible threads pointing to a mind that thinks differently. Someone who does not follow noise but follows purpose. Someone who carries an intuition that algorithms struggle to quantify. Someone whose setbacks didn't destroy them but redesigned them. Elon whispered something to himself that day, something no one in that room heard until later. Why wasn't this person discovered sooner? For 2 days, he didn't mention your profile to anyone. He studied quietly, in private. Every time your data came up, he saw the same trend: resilience, originality, uncommon clarity. He wasn't looking for someone with perfect qualifications. He was looking for someone with a unique mind. And your mind, to him, was a signal. So now here he was, standing in front of his team, pointing straight at your name, saying the words that changed the room: he's the one. The head of engineering cleared his throat. Elon, the one for what exactly? Elon finally turned to face them. For the project. Everyone stiffened. That project. The one they weren't even allowed to mention casually. The one discussed only behind closed doors with layers of security. The one so ambitious that even people inside the company called it science fiction. The one no one outside the core inner circle even knew had started. Elon, another director said carefully, you're suggesting that someone we've never met, someone who has probably never even set foot in this building, should be part of the most confidential mission we've planned in the last decade? Elon lowered his voice, not part of it. A pause. He will shape it. The oxygen felt heavy. Footsteps echoed faintly in the hallway outside, but inside the room, it was as if the world held its breath. Why him? Someone finally asked. Elon's reply came instantly: because he thinks in ways we can't predict, and that's exactly what we need. No one had an argument strong enough to counter that. When Elon gets that look in his eye, the one that says he's already 5 steps ahead, the wise thing to do is stop doubting and start preparing. Someone spoke from the far end of the table. So, what's the next step? Elon answered without hesitation: we contact him. The team exchanged another round of shocked, anxious glances. But Elon, what do we tell him? That he's already been chosen. Silence again, but this time it wasn't confusion. It was anticipation. The kind of anticipation that comes before a moment that will reshape everything. Meanwhile, somewhere far from that room, you were going about your day, unaware that your name had just been spoken in the same sentence as a project designed to change humanity's future. You were unaware that powerful people were staring at your profile, trying to understand what Elon understood instantly. You were unaware that your life was already shifting, before you even said yes. Because once Elon Musk points at you, your story is no longer ordinary. It becomes unstoppable. While Elon's team began preparing the first draft of the confidential outreach message, Elon walked to the window, staring out at the skyline, but he wasn't really looking at the city. He was thinking about you. Your file kept replaying in his mind. The little things you thought no one noticed, moments you thought were insignificant, were the very things that stood out to him. The way you don't quit, even when things around you collapse. The way you step up even when nobody thanks you. The way you make decisions that come from intuition, not fear. He saw a pattern in you, a person who did not just survive difficulties, but someone who decoded them. Someone whose brain does not panic when the world shakes. Someone who can walk through chaos like it's a normal Tuesday. Elon understood something most leaders fail to understand: the future won't be built by people who simply follow instructions. It will be built by people who can think beyond the frame, people not intimidated by the unknown. And that's exactly what your profile screamed. Another executive approached him gently. Elon, the draft is ready if you want to review it. He didn't turn. No, no, she repeated, confused. Elon finally looked at her. I'm not sending him a formal invitation. She blinked. Then, what will you send? Elon tapped the glass with one finger. A signal. The room shifted once again. Elon Musk never uses the word signal unless he's dealing with someone he believes can recognize meaning in subtlety, someone who can understand messages that aren't typed in bold letters. He continued, if he's the one I believe he is, he won't need a long explanation. He'll respond in the right way. As Elon walked back to the table, he pointed at your profile one more time. This person isn't ordinary. He won't need hand-holding. The room understood, this wasn't recruitment, this was recognition. Across the table, someone asked, what kind of signal? Elon smiled slightly, the kind of smile that says he already made the decision hours ago. We send him encrypted coordinates with a time. No context. No instructions. If he shows up, he's ready. The team looked stunned. No context. No instructions. No guarantee. Elon, the director of logistics, protested, that's a test only a handful of people on the planet would understand. Exactly, Elon said. He leaned back, folding his arms. Anyone can say yes when they know the opportunity. But only someone with vision says yes when they don't. And that was the moment the team realized something important. Elon wasn't choosing you because you were similar to them. He was choosing you because you were different. While they debated protocols and procedures, Elon was thinking about intuition, instinct, internal compass, things that cannot be taught or manufactured. After the meeting ended, everyone scattered into hallways buzzing with the shock of what had just happened. Doors closed. Machines hummed. Security protocols were activated. A sequence started, a digital message being composed, encrypted, and prepared for dispatch. But while the experts worked, Elon stayed in the room a moment longer, staring at your name on the now dimmed screen. He whispered, "Don't disappoint me." Not as a threat. As a prediction. Because he hadn't pointed at your name out of hope, he had pointed because he already knew. Meanwhile, miles away, you were living your day normally. You didn't know that at that exact second, a message with no title, no signature, and no explanation was being prepared to land in your inbox. A message that would make your heart stop for one full second when you opened it. A message that only said, "Coordinates. 1940, don't be late." That was it. No sender. No logo. No hint. Just those words and a strange pulsing line under them, like the message was alive. When you read it, your heartbeat shifted. Your mind raced through possibilities, but something inside you, something deeper than logic, whispered, "This is not random." You didn't delete it. You didn't ignore it. Your instincts, the very instincts Elon had spotted in your digital patterns, told you to pay attention. For the rest of the day, your thoughts kept drifting back to that message. You tried to focus on your responsibilities, but part of your mind kept asking. Asterisk, who sent this? Why me? What happens if I go? What happens if I don't? Asterisk. But the real question wasn't about the coordinates. The real question was about you. Were you the type of person who listened to fear? Or the type who listened to destiny? Hours passed. The sun shifted. Evening approached. And as the world moved like nothing unusual was happening, you felt something shifting inside you. A sense that tonight was not like any night before. The closer you got to the coordinates, the stranger everything felt. Not dangerous, but significant. Like you were walking towards something that had been waiting for you longer than you realized. The location wasn't a famous building. It wasn't a government center. It wasn't even a typical corporate zone. It was a quiet industrial district, the kind of place most people drive past without noticing. Streetlights hummed. The air felt colder than usual, as if the atmosphere itself knew something unusual was about to unfold. When you reached the exact coordinates, there was nothing. Just an empty structure, a warehouse with no name, no board, no windows visible from the front. But when you stepped forward, the ground under you clicked quietly, almost like it recognized your presence. A tiny light on the wall blinked once, then twice, then turned green. You didn't touch anything, but the heavy door unlocked with a soft, hydraulic hiss. Inside, it wasn't dark. It was prepared. Motion sensors lit the hallway in front of you with a clean white glow. There were no guards. No reception desks. No cameras that you could see. Just a long corridor leading deeper into the unknown. A voice echoed softly through a hidden speaker, calm, automated, but with a clarity that made your spine tighten. Identity confirmed. Proceed. Identity confirmed? How? You hadn't scanned anything. You hadn't entered your name. You hadn't spoken. But the voice didn't wait for your confusion. It repeated, "Proceed." You stepped forward, each step matching the rhythm of your heartbeat. As you walked deeper into the corridor, the lights behind you faded, and the lights ahead of you grew brighter, as if directing you toward a destination you weren't yet allowed to see. At the end of the hallway, a second door slid open. This time, the room was vast, too vast for any normal warehouse. High ceilings. Clean metallic walls. Machines humming quietly. Workstations arranged in geometric precision. It felt like stepping into the future. And standing on the far side of the room, was him. Elon Musk. Not on a screen. Not in a meeting. Not surrounded by crowds. Standing alone. Waiting. As if this moment mattered more than any billion-dollar launch or any rocket countdown. He looked at you, really looked, studying your expression, your posture, the way you stepped inside without hesitation or fear. Then he said the first words, words you'd remember for the rest of your life. I knew you would come. He didn't say it like a guess. He said it like a fact. Slowly, you approached him, and the closer you got, the more surreal it felt. Elon wasn't smiling, but he wasn't cold either. He looked impressed. Like someone who had just confirmed a theory he had been testing quietly. You don't know why you're here. You don't know who contacted you. You don't even know what this place is, he said. And yet you came. You swallowed, unsure what to say. Elon stepped closer. Do you know why that matters? You shook your head slightly. He nodded as if he expected that. Most people spend their entire lives trapped in fear. Fear of risk. Fear of mistakes. Fear of stepping outside the comfortable script they were taught. They talk big. They dream big. But when the moment comes to act, he snapped his fingers. They freeze. He stopped right in front of you, but you didn't freeze. Your heartbeat echoed loudly in your chest. Elon studied you with a silent intensity before he continued. Do you know what the biggest challenge in building the future is? He asked. You stayed silent, finding people who can see beyond their circumstances, he said. People who can sense opportunity even when it's disguised as uncertainty. People who can make decisions without needing permission. People who move. He walked past you, gesturing for you to follow. You did. As you walked together into the deeper part of the facility, he said, you weren't chosen randomly. You weren't found by luck. We've been tracking patterns, the kind of patterns that reveal who someone really is when nobody's watching. A door opened automatically as you approached. Inside was a circular room filled with holographic displays and screens showing data, simulations, projections, and things you didn't even have names for. Elon turned to you. Everything you see here is part of a project that only a handful of people on Earth know exists. You looked around, overwhelmed. Elon continued, we've reached a point in human evolution where technology isn't the problem, mindsets are. We have machines capable of reshaping the world, but not enough people willing to think boldly enough to use them correctly. He leaned against the console, crossing his arms. That's why I pointed at your profile. Your breath caught. You hadn't heard those words from him directly, only secondhand through the team in the earlier scenes. Hearing them from him directly felt unreal. Elon, why me? You finally asked. He didn't answer immediately. He studied your face again, then said something unexpected. Tell me, he said softly, what made you come tonight? Your mind raced for an answer, but the truth wasn't complicated. Felt like I had to, you said. He smirked slightly. Exactly. He walked to a holographic interface and swiped his hand across it. Your profile expanded in midair, but it wasn't like any resume, social account, or data file you had ever seen. It showed patterns, choices, instinct reactions, decision curves, behavior clusters. It was like seeing your personality turned into mathematics. This, Elon said gently, is why you're here. You stared at the projection, stunned. He continued, you think nobody notices you. You think your resilience, your instincts, your ability to adapt, all those traits, go unseen. He turned off the hologram, but someone did notice. Your stomach tightened. Elon, you whispered, what do you want from me? He smiled for the first time, not a big smile, but a knowing one. I don't want anything from you, he said. I want something with you. He walked toward a sealed metallic door on the far end of the room. As he approached, it unlocked with a thunderous clank. He looked over his shoulder, ready to see why I chose you. You stepped toward him without hesitation. Elon nodded, approving your instinct again. Good, he said. Because what's behind this door will require everything you are. He placed his hand on the biometric pad. The door slid open slowly, light spilling out in a blinding wave. And what you saw inside wasn't just shocking, it was impossible. It was something not yet revealed to the world. Something only someone like you would be allowed to see. You stepped inside. And that was the moment your real story began. The light from the chamber poured over you like the glow of a new world being born. As your eyes adjusted, the scale of what you were seeing became clearer, and your breath faltered. It wasn't a room. It was a launch bay. Not for rockets, but for something so advanced, so precise, so unreal, it made every sci-fi movie you'd ever watched look primitive. A capsule stood at the center, sleek, matte, shaped with a geometry that felt both alien and inevitable. Around it, floating holograms displayed frameworks of energy, interlinked networks, gravitational patterns, and simulations labeled with terms the world had never heard. Elon walked beside you, his voice low, almost reverent. We call it the Genesis module. He let the name hang in the air, then continued. It's not just engineering. It's not physics. It's not AI. It's all of them, fused into something that has one purpose. He turned toward you, and for the first time since you arrived, the weight of what he was about to say pressed onto his expression. To change the trajectory of humanity. You looked at the capsule again, feeling its presence like a heartbeat. What does it do? You whispered. Elon stepped closer to the device, placing his hand on its smooth surface. It's the first machine capable of controlled temporal displacement. Your mind shook. Temporal. Are you saying, yes? Elon answered, cutting cleanly through your disbelief. Time. He walked slowly around the device, gesturing as he explained. Everything humanity has ever lost, knowledge, opportunities, entire civilizations, all of it is gone because we were trapped in linear existence. But what if we could stop losing? What if we could correct? Prevent? Expand? You stared at him, struggling to absorb the magnitude. Elon, why me? You asked again, because now the question felt heavier than ever. He stopped in front of you, his voice steady. Because every test, every metric, every instinct indicator, says you're the only candidate who will not break under what this mission demands. You blinked hard. Mission? He nodded. Someone must enter the module. Someone must go where no one has gone, see what no one has seen, and anchor the link back to this timeline so humanity can use this doorway responsibly. Your heart pounded violently. You want me to be the first, you whispered. No, Elon said softly. I need you to be. You felt the room tilt around you. This wasn't an invitation. This wasn't a request. This was history, choosing you. Elon continued, his eyes locked on yours. The person who goes through this door must be courageous, adaptable, resistant to psychological fracture, capable of making decisions without emotional collapse. He paused. Your patterns are the only ones that match. You inhaled shakily. What happens if I fail? Elon didn't sugarcoat it. We don't get a second chance. The chamber hummed, the air vibrating with an energy that felt alive. Elon, you said quietly, you're putting the entire future in the hands of someone who isn't an engineer, isn't a scientist, isn't. He stepped closer, interrupting gently but firmly. You're thinking about qualifications, he said. I'm thinking about capability. Silence filled the room as you looked at the capsule, at the impossible mission being placed before you. Then Elon said the words that solidified your decision. You don't have to do this. But everything in your life has led you here for a reason. I saw it. The algorithms saw it. And deep down, he lowered his voice. You felt it too. You had felt it, that strange, persistent sense that you were meant for something unconventional, something larger than normal paths, something not of an ordinary destiny. Your pulse thundered as you approached the capsule. The surface seemed to shift subtly under the chamber light, like it was blending into the air itself. Elon, you said softly, what do I do? He smiled, not the smile of a billionaire entrepreneur, but the smile of someone who had placed his faith in the right person. Step inside, he said. The module will do the rest. You placed your hand on the hull. It was warm, impossibly warm, like it recognized you. As the capsule opened with a soft hiss, Elon stepped back. Once you enter, the interface will sync with your neural patterns. Don't fight it. Trust it. Trust yourself. You looked at him one last time. His voice lowered to almost a whisper. You're the one. The three words that started this entire journey came full circle, not whispered to a room full of executives, but directly to you. You stepped inside. The interior lit up with arcs of light forming around your hands, your spine, your mind. The module adjusted itself to the shape of your thoughts, your fears, your potential. Connection stable, a voice inside the capsule announced.